Spotlight. This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's visit to Uttarakhand and the launch of key development projects. The participants are K.G. Suresh, political analyst, and Sarabjit Kaur, anchor.
Hello listeners and welcome to Spotlight. In today's edition, we focus on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Uttarakhand, marking a significant moment as the state celebrates 25 years of its formation. Addressing the Silver Jubilee celebrations of formation of Uttarakhand, let's first hear what the Prime Minister said.
बेहतर कनेक्टिविटी का उत्तराखंड के विकास से गहरा नाता है, इसलिए आज राज्य में 2 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक की परियोजनाओं पर काम चल रहा है। ऋषिकेश कर्णप्रयाग रेल परियोजना प्रगति पर है। दिल्ली देहरादून एक्सप्रेसवे अब लगभग तैयार है। गौरीकुंड, केदारनाथ और गोविंदघाट हेमकुंड साहब रोपवे का शिलान्यास हो चुका है। ये परियोजनाएं उत्तराखंड में विकास को नई गति दे रही हैं।
During his visit, the Prime Minister launched and laid the foundation for a series of development projects worth more than 8,000 crore. These projects cover a wide range of areas from drinking water and irrigation to energy, urban development, sports, skill training, all aimed at boosting connectivity, employment and growth in the hill state. To understand this further and to deliberate upon what it means for Uttarakhand, we are fortunate to have in our studios today Mr. K.G. Suresh, political analyst. Mr. Suresh, welcome to the studios of Akashvani.
Thank you.
Mr. Suresh, the Prime Minister's visit coincides with Uttarakhand's Silver Jubilee, 25 years since its formation. From a political analyst's perspective, how does this timing influence the visit's impact?
Absolutely. I was witness to the condition of Uttarakhand before it became a state. I visited when it was part of Uttar Pradesh. I have seen how the state was created during Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's regime, and subsequently I have seen its development over the last 25 years. I can only say that it has seen visible changes. It is not easy to bring about development in a bordering state with a very difficult terrain, a large part of it which is hilly, mountainous. But in spite of that, the government, particularly ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken over, he has a special affection towards the people of Uttarakhand. He has visited the state over a dozen times. He has repeatedly referred to it as Devbhoomi, and for his own spiritual solace, he keeps going there, whether it is Badrinath or Kedarnath. He regularly visits the place. And in the last 10 years itself, the kind of changes that we have seen is immense. The focus is on infrastructure, on road, rail, ropeways. The focus is on education. The focus is on improving the health of the people. And the focus is on tapping the energies which have not been harnessed so far for the benefit of the local people and for the benefit of the world. And in this visit, the Prime Minister not only celebrated the Silver Jubilee of the state, but also in a way laid out his future vision for the state, which included making it the spiritual capital of the world. And when you are celebrating, it is also important that you introspect on the journey so far and also think about or chart out a vision for the future. So I think that for a state, there is not much scope for very heavy industrialization like in the states with a large plain area. So he has talked about bringing or convergence of Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality together. And already the state is known as Devbhoomi. Rishikesh, people go for yoga. People go for tourism in all those areas across the state, whether it is Kumaon or whether it is Garhwal. And of course, people go for religious tourism also. So perhaps his focus on having homestays, his focus on promoting the local culture is in a way a roadmap that what would be the ideal roadmap for the state through which it can realize its full potential and also ensure that there is a large migration which is taking place from the state to other states because of lack of opportunities, because lack of facilities. The focus of the Prime Minister is on building these facilities so that the people do not move out for lack of basic facilities. Of course, for higher pursuit of knowledge or for other things, people may move. But for lack of basic facilities like roads, so the focus is on whether it is the Char Dham project, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, Gangotri, Jamnotri, or whether it is building all-weather roads in all these areas. The state has also been, unfortunately, a victim of natural disasters, and there have been flash floods, there have been landslides, there have been earthquakes in the state in the past, and certainly it has paralyzed the economy. But then the state has recovered. The people of the state are a very resilient lot. They have brought back the state on the development path, and a lot of development has taken place over the last 25 years, which I think, given the number of new projects which have been inaugurated or which the Prime Minister laid out, I think that it is certainly going to add value. It is certainly going to enhance connectivity. It is certainly going to bring about more facilities, whether it is drinking water, whether it is roadways, whether it is power. I am sure that it would immensely benefit the state.
Suresh, you touched upon quite a few important points regarding the visit of Prime Minister to Uttarakhand. You spoke about Uttarakhand being a spiritual center. You spoke about the difficulty of the terrain, the averse weather conditions. We'll touch upon them one by one, but first we'd like to have your comment on the specific projects, the Song Dam, the Jamrani Multipurpose Dam, Amrut Water Supply. We'd like to hear from you on these.
Yes, certainly. Though one may see that Uttarakhand has been bestowed by nature with a lot of water, but the fact is that how much of it is potable water, it is also important because cities are growing, whether it is Dehradun or Nainital. They were small district or divisional headquarters, I remember, and they have expanded it into big cities. And today, thanks to the weather, thanks to the low pollution levels, a large number of people from cities like Delhi are moving into Dehradun in a big way. A lot of retired people are settling down there. So obviously the facilities have to be expanded. The potable water supply has to be provided, and of course you need such projects which will take care of the requirements of the cities which are expanding in terms of tourism infrastructure, which are expanding in terms of industrial infrastructure. So obviously I think that these projects are certainly going to provide more facilities to the citizens there and make life much more better, much more convenient.
Suresh, let's look at this discussion from a little different point of view. Uttarakhand's terrain, as you also said, poses unique challenges.
Yes.
Landslides, limited connectivity, ecological sensitivity. How realistic are these large infrastructure promises in the state's geographical and environmental context?
No, certainly there are concerns. But then do we deprive the people of a state in the name of environment only, or do we go for sustainable development models? That is also important. The government's policy is very proactive in that regard, that if one tree is cut, 100 trees would be planted in its place. And it is all being done very scientifically, whatever projects are being undertaken to ensure minimum damage to the nature itself. That is, of course, at the root of core principle which is governing the infrastructural development in the state. Certainly it is but natural that there are questions about the fragility of the mountains and stuff like that. But I think that the government is very much aware of this, and when it is going for mega projects like Chardham project, I am sure these are being factored into, and also given the experience in other hill states like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir and other parts of the country, certainly tourism is aimed at giving employment opportunities, but at the same time it should not become a bane for the environment in those areas. So I think that it should be eco-friendly tourism that is sought to be promoted, wherein environmental sustainability is also taken into account. But at the same time, we have to ensure that we cannot turn them into museums, people's museums. They deserve development. It is their right. So we need to take development, but only thing is that today new technologies have come which we have to utilize to ensure that they don't cause damage to the nature, and if at all some minimum damage is caused, it is compensated adequately through afforestation.
During the Silver Jubilee celebrations, Prime Minister reiterated that the true identity of Uttarakhand lies in its spiritual strength and that it can establish itself as the spiritual capital of the world. Before we take your view, Suresh, on this, let's hear what the Prime Minister said about it.
साथियों, उत्तराखंड का असली परिचय उसकी आध्यात्मिक शक्ति है। उत्तराखंड अगर ठान ले तो अगले कुछ ही वर्षों में खुद को स्पिरिचुअल कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड के रूप में स्थापित कर सकता है। यहाँ के मंदिर, आश्रम, ध्यान और योग के सेंटर, इन्हें हम ग्लोबल नेटवर्क से जोड़ सकते हैं। साथियों, देश विदेश से लोग यहाँ वेलनेस के लिए आते हैं। यहाँ की जड़ी बूटियां और आयुर्वेदिक औषधियों की मांग तेजी से बढ़ रही है। पिछले 25 वर्षों में एरोमेटिक प्लांट्स आयुर्वेदिक जड़ी बूटियां, योग और वेलनेस टूरिज्म में उत्तराखंड ने शानदार प्रगति की है.
Suresh, your expert comment on Dev Bhumi status, the spiritual capital of the world.
Well, I think no other state qualifies for that, because when it comes to yoga, when it comes to, herbal medicines, traditional Ayurveda treatment, everybody looks up to Uttarakhand. It's a natural choice. Even today, lakhs of tourists go to Rishikesh for yoga, for meditation. It is natural that, and today the whole idea is not to confine it to just one city or one district, but the entire state, through homestays, through promoting tourism, promoting local culture. Because if once that happens, because we have models like Goa, we have tourist models like Kerala before us, but this would be unique, where spirituality, yoga, everything would be combined. Say a lot of people visit Kerala for Ayurveda. So I think that this would be a combination of natural landscapes, it would be a combination of Ayurvedic treatment, spirituality, yoga, local culture arts, and I'm sure the state has immense potential in that direction, and if serious efforts are made in making this come true, it is going to change the face of Uttarakhand.
In fact, Prime Minister proposed that every assembly constituency should have a package of yoga centers, Ayurvedic centers and naturopathy institutes.
Absolutely. And I think that that is the way, because unless you make it a cottage industry, it won't succeed. And it has the potential. And it does not require much of effort also, or finances to do so. With the current policies of the government and the schemes which are available, these things can very well be started.
Prime Minister also spoke about future projects to promote education, tourism, employment opportunities, health, sports. Let's hear what the Prime Minister said on this.
उत्तराखंड की विकास यात्रा को गति देने के लिए आज भी यहां कई परियोजनाओं का उद्घाटन और शिलान्यास किया गया है. शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, पर्यटन और खेल से जुड़े ये प्रोजेक्ट्स यहां रोजगार के नए अवसर तैयार करेंगे. जमरानी और सौंग बांध परियोजनाएं देहरादून और हल्द्वानी शहर की पेयजल की समस्या को दूर करने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएगी.
Suresh, Prime Minister also mentioned about direct benefit transfers to farmers and investments in water security. In your view, how crucial are these measures in addressing migration and livelihood issues in hill districts? We'd like to have a brief comment on this.
Because of the global warming, climate change, certainly the Uttarakhand farmers also face a lot of problems. And the crop insurance installments which have gone through the direct benefit transfer, the farm insurance initiative of the Prime Minister, is certainly going to give immense relief to the local farmers, given the, as I said, the vicissitudes of agrarian life in the changed scenario, particularly in the backdrop of climate change and global warming. And the irrigation schemes have also been announced. Potable water schemes have also been announced. And these are certainly going to help the farmers, and the focus on herbal medicine, on growing herbs. So he has given a window of opportunity to the farming community in Uttarakhand also. If you look at the entire scheme of projects that the Prime Minister announced today, no section, whether it is education, whether it is sports, the AstroTurf stadium which is coming up, you will see that there is no segment of society which has been neglected or not attended to. So the whole idea is the holistic development of Uttarakhand, and to that extent today the Prime Minister's visit is hugely successful and would certainly help Uttarakhand in taking that big leap.
As the state marks 25 years of its journey, initiatives like improving infrastructure, creating jobs and strengthening rural and urban connectivity would shape the next phase of Uttarakhand's growth. With this hope and good gesture, we thank Mr. K.G. Suresh, political analyst, for having joined in and spared his valuable time to deliberate on this journey of Uttarakhand.
Thank you so much.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's visit to Uttarakhand and the launch of key development projects. The participants were K.G. Suresh, political analyst, and Sarabjit Kaur, anchor. The program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on your mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsttalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.
Spotlight.